So you're thinking about moving your family to the Fort Worth area and you're going, where are all the good schools at? So if you've done any searching around, there's a lot of bad schools out there, unfortunately. And I'm sure you want to give your kids every opportunity to succeed. I mean, life is hard enough as it is. So this is one thing that most parents are not going to compromise on. So you want to figure out, hey, where are the good school districts? Where do I want to start narrowing down my search? All that kind of stuff. And hey, I get it. I'm a new father. I've got a 7-month-old, but I'm already thinking about these things like, hey, where are we going to move? We're planning, trying to figure out where we want to be. That way, you know, if we want to send him to public school, we've got good options. So anyways, by the end of this video, we've scoured the internet. And by the end of this video, hopefully you'll have a good idea of where to narrow down that search and alleviate a lot of that stress that you may be having. All right, y'all, so I've got pulled up here on my computer. I'm going to show you my screen. I've got niche pulled up. These are going to be the top school districts across the Metroplex. I'm going to tell you about some that are not on this map for some reason. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about each of these areas, what it's like to live there, what kind of lifestyles they have, the traffic, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to try to give you a kind of a big overview of the area. And that way you can say, hey, okay, yeah, that might be something that we put on our list as far as where we might want to live and all that kind of stuff. So in this video, again, I'm only focusing on this Fort Worth side of the Metroplex. We're going to have another one if you are looking to be on the Dallas side. But as you can see, there are a lot of good school districts the further north you go. But this map does not have all of them on there. So let's talk about that here for a second. So here on the left side of the Metroplex, we've got Fort Worth, and it says Fort Worth Academy of the Fine Arts. I don't know what this is. This is not its own school district. It may be like a charter school or a private school or something, but it is not a school district. So Fort Worth School District is not very good. There are a handful of good schools. And when I say this, I'm basing all of this off of niche's niche.com's ratings. And I will let you know if there's some additional, I don't know, information that like I've been told or I know or any of that kind of stuff. But based on niche.com, Fort Worth is not doing so hot, right? But there are a handful of schools within Fort Worth that do all right. Specifically like the Tanglewood area, those schools are pretty good. And then in Fort Worth, you'll also have, so this is the other thing too. I don't know, if you're moving from another state, it may be different, but in Texas, you may have the school district may be the same name as the city, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it is contained within that city. So a lot of times these school districts overlap cities, and it's all very confusing. I have no idea who draws these boundaries, but it's never made sense to me. But okay, let's jump into it. So Fort Worth, not so great. So we're going to start looking outside of it. So first thing, Aledo, out here to the west. So if you are one of those people that's looking for something a little bit more rural, or or if you are looking for a master plan community as well, those two types of living you're going to find in Aledo. So we've got videos on different neighborhoods like Walsh and Morningstar, and also oh gosh, there's Bella, and like those are on acre lots, and there's all kinds of living. But we've got other videos on all of these too. If you want to deep dive into it, we've got those on our channel, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But Aledo is over here on the west side, like I mentioned, and they've got a lot of master plan stuff, and then they've also got more rural stuff. Now, as far as Aledo, the city goes, there's not a whole lot to it. There just hasn't been a lot of development. Most people drive into Fort Worth for all the major, not major shopping, but for like your higher end shopping or any of that kind of stuff, and you're not too far. So you've got here I-30 that goes east to west, or west to east, however you want to say it, and then also 20. Now I will tell you this, so north of 30 you've got Walsh, which is this mega master plan community with all kinds of amenities. Like they've got incredibly fast internet, they've got a gym, multiple pools, lakes and kayaking, and a maker space and zip lines. I'm telling you, as far as amenities go in a master plan community, this one is not lacking. And so anyways, if you do end up on the north side of 30 here, one of the problems is with the traffic. 30 is not wide enough yet. There are plans to put this in place, but it's going to be a few years. But there's not enough it's just not wide enough to handle the traffic load coming in and out. So during rush hour, it is a little bit miserable coming in and out of here. Now they have opened up, I believe there's a way to get there from White Settlement Road, so it alleviates a little bit, but it's still not a good traffic situation. And 20 is pretty decent. So like if you're somebody that can get to wherever you're going off of 20, then this traffic isn't going to affect you as much. Now, if you plan your travel around off hours or whatever, then you should be in good shape. So, and just to show you, this is also Niche's website, and it says overall it's an A rating. I don't know why it's not showing up on the map, but so that's a good option. And then also over here to the south, we've got Burleson, which is my alma mater, and also I'll show you real quick. They're A- rated, and then you also have Joshua as well. So that's a little bit further out. Joshua is going to be a lot more rural. Burleson has a little bit of both. They've blown up over the last 10 years or so. There's all kinds of dining and shopping along 35 here. But like 174 going into town is, I mean, it's a little town that blew up, and this is the one big street that has all the stoplights, right? So if you hit it at the wrong time of the day, you're just hitting stoplight after stoplight after stoplight. But and then over here to the east is going to be more of that rural living. You can find stuff outside of city limits, on more land, all that kind of stuff. So if that's also, if that's the kind of lifestyle you're looking for, this may also be an option. And then you have Mansfield. So Mansfield is kind of similar to Burleson, as they've got both, your large built out communities, and then they also have a lot of rural stuff as well. Now, Mansfield's downtown. They've got like a cute little downtown. They've started putting some restaurants in there, and they're trying to really bring more business into that downtown. There's also what I call Yollywood, and this is a bunch of studios that they are building in that area to try and bring more film and that sort of thing to the area. So I'm kind of looking at Mansfield. This is kind of one of those things where Mansfield could become a big deal at some point. The other nice thing about this is you're kind of right in between Dallas and Fort Worth. And so there are highways that go both directions. And then just south of there, you've got Midlothian as well. So Midlothian is going to be even more rural. We've got videos on all of these places if you are interested. So heading north, so that's going to be about it for the south, right? So heading north on the north side of downtown, you've got Hearst, Euless, Bedford, and this is what we call the mid-cities. So there's all these mid-cities in here, and a lot of these homes are going to be older. There's not a whole lot of new development going in. There are some new home neighborhoods. They're going to be smaller just because this is so central. Most of it's already been built out. And I will tell you, this is going to feel very city-like, even though it is, I mean, they're technically suburbs. It feels very city-like because you have a ton of traffic coming through here. So this is 183, and they have built a toll road that runs through here all the way from Fort Worth to Dallas. So that does help, but like if you're not taking the toll road, a lot of times during the day, you're going to be adding on an extra 10, 15, 20, even 30 minutes to your commute. So traffic here is definitely an issue. And that's something I would consider if I was looking to move there. If I'm not working from home or doing like a half remote thing, traffic could become an issue. But you're going to have houses in all kinds of price ranges here. You also got some older homes that are, on like a third of an acre and that kind of thing. You can find that kind of stuff here in the mid cities. And prices are going to range all over the place. I'm 300 to 500. No, we didn't talk about that in all the other ones. There's a wide range of prices in all these. I mean, you can find anything from entry level all the way to $1 million homes. So, yeah, let's keep going. All right, so moving north here. Now we've got Colleyville and Grapevine. So this school district, A-rated. Colleyville is a super nice community, super nice city. And this is a great location. I think that's one of the reasons why, these communities have done so well. So you've got Colleyville just to the north is South Lake, which isn't showing up on the, you've got Grapevine and South Lake, which isn't showing up. And then you've got Keller here. So, and the Carroll Independent School District is, that's South Lake. It's one of the best school districts in the state. So that's, the top is, I mean, I'm not saying it's the very best, but it's up there, at the very top as far as public school systems go. And it's also a very expensive place to live. So Colleyville, you'll find a lot of, Texas Rangers, Dallas Cowboys will end up buying properties here because, number one, you're right next to the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, and also the stadiums in which they play are right here in North Arlington. So you're super close if you are a pro athlete in one of those professions. So for that reason, you may see some of those guys there, and this is going to be more expensive. I think Colleyville probably starts around $600,000. And that may be generous, but most of those homes are going to be $1 million plus. Grapevine, very expensive as well. Southlake, very expensive as well. I think Southlake's probably $900,000 and up. You could probably find some stuff under that, but just to give you kind of a ballpark. And then Keller. Keller is going to be a little bit more reasonable. So Keller, I think homes in there, you can still find them in like the 400s, and then they quickly go up from there. So I would say Keller averages probably around $500,000 for, just getting into Keller. That's probably what you're looking at spending. And but all of these are, just really nice manicured, median, like everything's just really taken care of. So you can't go wrong in any of these areas if you got a little bit more to spend. Now, the one thing I will say, Keller here is one of those instances we talked about at the beginning of this, that the school district spills over, can spill over into other cities. Keller is one of those things where it spills over into Fort Worth. So a lot of people will move to the north side of Fort Worth and to be in the Keller school district. So and that's another thing. Hopefully, guys, we're here to give you a good idea on this video, but like if you really want to narrow this down and get granular with this, give us a call. That's what we're here for. We'd love to chat with you and see what we can do to help and obviously help you get into that next home. But anyways, this is Keller going north from here. So you've got Northwest Independent School District. So this is also a very sought after school district. There is a ton of new homes going up in this area. So basically the north side of Saginaw and going up, this is the Alliance Corridor here. So if you haven't heard of that, the Alliance Airport is right here, just south of Texas Motor Speedway. And then the Alliance Corridor is a bunch of shopping. And so you've got that and Presidio, I think, are the two shopping centers right there. But we've got lots of videos on all the homes in this area, the Alliance Shopping Center, all that kind of stuff. Tons of videos if you want to dive further into this area. And the other thing, too, if you are looking for a new home, we have definitely give us a call before you got. Number one, not all builders build a house the same. And so even in this area, we did a whole series on homes under 400,000. Huge difference in the houses, right? So, and it is like, I think we went to like 9 or 10 or 12. I think, it might be more than that. I think there were like 21 neighborhoods in total. And I think we made it to like 18 of them. But there's a huge difference. And number one, we can save you a lot of time, but also we'll save you money. So we've got, we can save our clients up to $10,000 depending on the situation, but we've got a program to do that on top of the builders incentives and all that kind of stuff. So if you are interested, please do reach out to us. That's something we can definitely help out with. And new homes is probably 30% of our business. So new homes is something we definitely specialize in. All right. So heading northwest IT, we covered that. And then let's see here. Lewisville Independent School District. So talking to some different folks that live in this area. This covers Flower Mound, Highland Village, Lewisville, the Colony. So this school district covers a big area, but this is one of those where you have like some schools that are not as good as others and that kind of thing. We can obviously help with that. And this to me, this is, this is an interesting area. Like there's a lot of different stuff going on in here. And I always feel like this feels very city-like. There's a lot of apartments on the main strip going through here. And not to say that there aren't some good pockets in Lewisville itself, but it's it's just a different feel going through here. And then Flower Mound's very nice. I think they were one of the best places to live, rated, a few years ago. Like it was one of the top ones in the U.S. And then Argyle, let's keep on going here. So Argyle is one of those kind of rural feeling places, like a small town feel to it almost. They're known for their football as well, their football program. And but they have these big master plan communities there. They have Harvest, they've got Pecan Square, we've got videos on those, and this is right next to North Lake, which is I think where those are actually located. But this is also becoming a very popular destination as all the growth, really not all the growth, but a majority of the growth is happening and it's moving north. You've got a lot of businesses, larger businesses moving into the north, and so for that reason a lot of this is like farmland that's being converted into these master plan communities. And then you'll also find out there, like if you're looking for something like on an acre or something like that, you'll find those as well. But more than likely, if you are shopping in this area, most of these homes are going to start around 400,000 and go up from there. So depending on what you're looking for, you know, if that's in your price range, you can't go wrong in this area either. So, and then yeah, at that point, we're up to Denton. So that's about as far as we're going to take this map tour today. And yeah, hopefully this gives you a good jumping off point. Hopefully this allows you to narrow down that search a little bit. And again, let me show you a few other things here before you go. So like if you, because obviously you probably have a good idea of, you know, roughly where you want to be. Like if you know where you're going to be working and you don't want to be within, you know, outside of 30 minutes of travel to your work location, then obviously that's going to change things a little bit. And we can get a little bit more granular. Like I said, if you reach out and figure out, okay, if you do want to be in this area, hey, Arlington, you know, like let's just say you want to be somewhere in the middle. Arlington does have a few schools. You know, if you end up in these neighborhoods, you know, these are the good schools there. So maybe this is an option as well. We can talk about all that kind of stuff. And the other thing too is if you are not ready to hop on a phone call, if you go to our website, tomstexasrealty.com/search, you can set up your home search, and you can let us know that, hey, I want it to be within 30 minutes of X, and we'll set up your search so that's all that you're looking at, right? So we can get more detailed on it. But as far as this goes, if you want to do a little bit more of this homework yourself, like I mentioned, we're on niche.com. Let me get out of this mode, and I'll show you. You guys can come in here and do this yourselves. But basically, you know, right now we're doing a search for school districts, but you can flip this over to schools. And then let's say that you have a kid that's going to high school, right? You're moving here. You're not worried about elementary or middle school. You just want to make sure that they end up in a good high school. You can check that. And then also they've got all kinds of filters here, which is really cool. But let's say that you want to have somebody that's great in academically and then also has a really good sports program, right? So maybe you got an athlete, stud athlete coming in, all that kind of stuff. And you can do a search this way, flip over the map if you want. And this is going to show you a map of all of these. Now, again, this map isn't perfect as I've demonstrated earlier. So it's not going to have everything, but this will give you a good idea. But hopefully this has alleviated a little bit of that stress and will help you find that good neighborhood. The last thing we want, we've had people reach out to us before that bought without us, and now, you know, it's a year or two later and they want to move again because they didn't realize, you know, quite what the area was like or any of that. And we don't want to have that happen. And we definitely don't want you to get stuck there and end up with a kid who goes to a bad school and then they end up living with you for the rest of your life, right? So if you don't want that to happen, definitely give us a call. But as always, if you're looking to buy or sell, remember to keep calm. Call Tom.